This girl is incredible. What she did in college for women's basketball, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. You say to yourself, damn, what is going on here?
Charles Barkley just dropped a bomb on the WNBA, and it's all about Caitlin Clark. Why is this NBA legend so mad about women's basketball? Turns out, there's more to this story than just one angry guy yelling at clouds. Let's break down why Barkley's latest rant might actually point to a bigger issue in the WNBA. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. You might think Charles Barkley's just running his mouth again. But what if he's onto something big? The round mound of rebound isn't just tossing out hot takes for the heck of it. He's furious, and he's pointing fingers at the WNBA. But why? Let's break it down. Barkley didn't mince words when he laid into the WNBA. He said they couldn't have done a worse job with Caitlin Clark if they tried. Ouch, that's not just criticism. That's a full-on slam dunk of disapproval. But what's got Sir Charles so worked up? Is it about how they're treating Clark? Maybe. Is it about their marketing game? Could be. Or is it something deeper? Something that cuts to the core of the WNBA's future? Now we're getting warmer. Barkley's not just mad, he's disappointed. He sees Caitlin Clark as more than just a rookie. She's a golden ticket, a once-in-a-generation player who could take the WNBA to new heights. But instead of rolling out the red carpet, it feels like they're rolling out the wet blanket. Think about it. Clark's not just any player, she's a sensation, a basketball phenom who's been breaking records and turning heads since her college days. She's got the skills, the charisma, and the star power to bring new fans to the game. So why isn't the WNBA capitalizing on this? That's what's got Barkley fuming. He sees a league that's been fighting for attention and respect for years, and now they've got a superstar in the making. But instead of embracing her, there's tension. Instead of celebration, there's controversy. But here's where it gets really interesting. Barkley's not just mad about how they're treating Clark. He's mad because he sees a bigger picture. He's thinking about what Clark could mean for the entire league. More fans, more coverage, more respect for women's basketball as a whole. It's like having a winning lottery ticket and forgetting to cash it in. The WNBA's got a chance to hit the jackpot with Clark, but Barkley thinks they're fumbling the ball. And for a guy who knows a thing or two about seizing opportunities in basketball, that's just unacceptable. But wait, there's more to this story. Barkley's outburst isn't just about Clark. It's about the future of the WNBA. It's about growth, about taking the league to the next level. And he's not the only one who sees it. Fans are buzzing. Media attention is spiking. People who've never watched a WNBA game in their lives are suddenly talking about Caitlin Clark. That's the kind of momentum that can change a sport, but only if it's handled right.
They cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried.
She turned the fever. We're 1-8. They have a winning record now.
But the number of attention, eyeballs she's brought to college and the pros, he couldn't have came up a master plan what these women have done.
Everyone's talking about Caitlin Clark's stats, but there's something even bigger happening that no one's mentioning. While Barkley fumes, a seismic shift is unfolding in the WNBA. Clark isn't just putting up numbers, she's rewriting the playbook for the entire league. But here's the kicker, her biggest impact might not be on the court at all. Let's rewind for a second. Clark's college career was nothing short of spectacular. She lit up scoreboards, broke records, and had fans glued to their screens. Now, she's bringing that same magic to the WNBA. Ticket sales are soaring, social media's buzzing, and suddenly, people who couldn't name a single WNBA player are talking about women's basketball. But not everyone's thrilled about this rookie sensation. Some WNBA veterans are giving Clark the side eye. It's like they're watching a newcomer waltz in and steal the spotlight they've been fighting for years to get. You can feel the tension building like a pressure cooker ready to blow. So what's really going on here? Clark's not just changing how the game's played, she's changing the entire landscape of women's basketball. Think about it. When was the last time you saw this much hype around a WNBA player? When did you last see sports bars packed for a women's game? Clark's bringing in a whole new audience. People who've never watched women's basketball before are tuning in. And it's not just casual fans. We're talking die-hard sports enthusiasts, stats nerds, and even critics who used to dismiss the women's game. They're all paying attention now. But it goes even deeper than that. Clark's popularity is forcing the WNBA to evolve. They're facing questions they've never had to deal with before. How do you market a superstar in a league that's always prided itself on teamwork? How do you balance the old guard with the new wave of talent? And here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's impact isn't just about basketball. She's become a cultural phenomenon. Young girls are picking up basketballs, dreaming of being the next Caitlin Clark. She's not just a player, she's an inspiration, a role model. This is where Barkley's frustration starts to make sense. He sees what Clark represents. She's not just a talented rookie, she's a catalyst for change, a once-in-a-generation player who could take the WNBA to new heights. But only if the league plays its cards right. Think about the potential here. More fans mean more revenue. More revenue means better salaries, better facilities, more investment in the game. It's a domino effect that could elevate the entire sport of women's basketball. But it's not just about money. It's about respect. It's about proving that women's basketball can be just as exciting, just as competitive, just as worthy of attention as the men's game. And Clark? She's making that case every time she steps on the court. So when Barkley explodes, he's not just talking about how they're treating one player. He's talking about a pivotal moment in women's basketball, a moment that could define the future of the sport. The WNBA just landed a game-changing $2.2 billion contract, yet Charles Barkley's acting like the league's in trouble. Is this the WNBA's golden moment or a ticking time bomb? You might be scratching your head wondering how a league that just secured a massive TV deal could be in hot water, but that's exactly the paradox we're facing with the WNBA right now. On one hand, they're riding high with this new $2.2 billion agreement over 11 years. It's a clear sign that women's basketball is gaining traction, drawing more eyeballs, and proving its worth in the sports marketplace. But here's where things get complicated. While the league's stock is rising, there's a storm brewing beneath the surface. And it's not just about Caitlin Clark anymore. It's about the entire future of the WNBA. Think about it. The league suddenly got more money, more attention, and more pressure than ever before. They've got a superstar rookie in Clark who's bringing in fans by the thousands. But they've also got veteran players who've been grinding for years, fighting for recognition and respect. How do you balance all that? It's like the WNBA is standing at a crossroads. One path leads to unprecedented growth and popularity. The other? Well, that's what's got Barkley so fired up. He sees a league that's got all the ingredients for success but might be fumbling the recipe.
And for these women to have this petty jealousness, you say to yourself, damn, what is going on here? This girl is incredible. What she did in college for women's basketball. And the thing I love about her, she never says a word.
Let's break it down. The new TV deal means more games on national television, more exposure, and potentially better salaries for players. That's all great news, but it also means higher expectations. Fans tuning in for the first time because of all the hype around Clark and this new deal, they need to be wowed. The league needs to deliver excitement, drama, and top-tier basketball night after night. And that's where the tension comes in. How do you market a league that's always prided itself on teamwork when you've suddenly got a megastar like Clark? How do you keep your loyal fans happy while also appealing to newcomers? It's a balancing act that could make or break the WNBA's future. Barkley's not just mad about how they're treating Clark, he's mad because he sees a league that's on the verge of something big, but might not be ready for it. It's like they've been handed the keys to a sports car, but they're still learning how to drive stick. The veterans in the league have valid concerns too. They've been hustling for years, building the WNBA from the ground up. Now there's this rookie coming in, getting all the attention, all the hype. It's natural to feel a little salty, but if the league doesn't handle this right, that saltiness could turn into a full-blown rift. So what's the solution? That's the million-dollar question. Or should we say the $2.2 billion question? The WNBA needs to find a way to capitalize on Clark's star power without alienating the rest of the league. They need to use this new TV deal to showcase not just one player, but the incredible talent across all their teams. It's about more than just basketball. It's about building a sustainable future for women's sports. The WNBA has a chance to set the standard, to show that women's leagues can be just as exciting, just as profitable, and just as respected as men's leagues. But they've got to get it right. That's why Barkley's so fired up. He's not just thinking about this season or the next. He's thinking about the long game. He sees the potential for the WNBA to become a powerhouse in the sports world. But potential isn't enough. It takes smart management, strategic marketing, and a whole lot of teamwork to turn potential into reality. So here we are. The WNBA's got more money, more attention, and more star power than ever before, but they've also got more challenges. How they navigate this next phase could determine the future of women's basketball for decades to come.